Good evening, this is Daniel Michael, and tonight I thought I would share in an impromptu, very short episode here on Main Street Universe a tarot reading that I did for myself. I asked a very personal question, a spiritual style of question. For those that know me, most of my life I have worked with a spirit companion, a spirit guide, whatever terms people like. And when I was closer to the veil, and when I was falling apart physically, I used to converse with her much more, and in a way that was very real, like I would talk to any person. So it left just the realm of dreams and became very much in, I guess, what we call the real world. My point is, I asked, will I? Because it doesn't happen anymore. See, now that I've gotten better, and now that I have healed and everything else, and it's been some years now, I just occasionally get a little vision of her in a dream or something. So I asked, I said, if I engage in a deep meditation, can I see you like back before when I was falling apart? Or something close to it. Even just a really powerful lucid style dream, honestly, would be enough. I'd let it go for a good while and decided to revisit it. Her name is Willow. And she's a bit of a misfit herself, as she is Cambion. Anyway, the cards I laid down using playing cards that I adopted as tarot cards. Much original tarot reading was, in fact, from playing cards. Though the symbolism of actual tarot is different than that, but no need for that right now. You have the minor arcana, and then you have the Joker. What I got was the Two of Wands, the Ace of Wands, the Three of Wands, and then the King of Cups. Now, in my interpretations and the way I learn, clubs were fire and wood. I do understand that in some traditions that the wood shouldn't be associated with fire, and that in some traditions the sword is associated with fire. But when I learned it, it was swords were air, swords were thoughts, swords cut through the ether or the air. I understand both arguments. That's how I learned it. So that's how it's interpreted. So to me, it's not any right or wrong. That's just what I adopted because that's how I first learned them. The Two of Wands, to me, well, it represents two people, and it's her. And potentially a new partner to work with. I'll get to that. Two people building something. I'll move through them and then explain the whole thing. The Ace of Wands being, alright, a little boldness, some creativity, some passion to build a new structure, if rods are structures, or the beginnings of them. The Three of Wands, working with others to build structures and having clear vision, clear clarity and vision of doing so. And I always associate the number 3 with any suit or any card as being a working well with others, meaning beyond, say, romantic partner. It's working well in general with others, teamwork. So, the final card, I did a little 3 and then a 1. I often do that type of spread. The King of Hearts, or King of Cups. And to me, the King of Cups is emotional calmness and also emotional expression through artistic and creativity. Don't always have to be art, but creativity. And in my case, I was feeling the message, honestly, as I was laying the cards down. Sometimes you stare at them for a minute and wonder. Here is her message through the cards, through me. She is saying, well, for one, I am always with you, and always was. The 2 of Wands, the Ace of Wands, of course. Keep networking and find a new passionate partner to work with. In this case, musically, I'm thinking. Because I have had music on my mind a lot recently. And what I mean by that is aggressively pursuing a band and playing out on... I haven't played out on stage in at least 5 years. It's got to be more than that. My band Dragon's Head went on tour in 2015, and I don't know if I played much since then. Some little shows here and there, yes, and then with another project for our brief stint. But it's been a while, and I've really been missing it. I've been missing... I already planned on being in the studio for a recording project, and was just gonna kind of leave it at that, but now I'm getting that band spark thing again brewing up inside me. So she is saying basically, remain calm, have clarity and vision, and follow that passion. It doesn't necessarily mean that I do it for a living full time or whatever. What I get from this message is the closer I get to that, to my pure self, which is in my expression, how I see it, is my musical self. The closer I am to that, the closer I am to her anyway. And it's not even exactly about the bond between her and I, even though that was the original question. She's just saying it's always better and we're always closer if you're focused, calm, and pursuing something creative that you love. That's when we're close. That's maybe when you see me in one of those extra real feeling dreams and we actually have a conversation. So yeah, it's not that I was wandering around feeling any kind of sense of longing. In fact, I got quite a bit of time detached before asking such a question. It was more of a curiosity, as I am an esoteric explorer. And I go, you know what? When I was falling apart, her and I, my little spirit world I had going on she was my best friend. And teacher, for sure. That's what that was. It was a teacher-student relationship. And it's funny that it was the 2 of Wands that came up like 2 people, because I've said this before in another video, but when I used to ask her, why do spirits or angels and demons or gods or any interdimensional beings that can travel through time, why do they bother with humans? And she said, very cryptically looking at me, she just said, we are bound. you and I, we are bound. So she has her own stuff to work on too. Anyway, that's how I see it. Almost like they learn from us for a lesson or journey that we maybe possibly can't understand. And then, of course, we learn, hopefully, from them. So that's it. Staying closer and remaining emotionally calm. Staying closer to the heart of creativity. Running with that drive. And remaining emotionally calm. Because that's the Queen of Cups, for example, might be someone who's incredibly gifted with their emotions. She's the Queen of Cups. Because some people ask that, what's the difference between the king and... Sometimes when I view the king, I view more of like a king sitting there kind of quietly, calmly, just saying, calm your emotions. And the queen might be more mastery. I won't get into that right now. Anyway, so that's it. That's my take on that little reading that I just felt like sharing. I had the night off work and thought I would share this in a brief video here on Main Street Universe. I'm in Hagerstown, Maryland, my new home in the mountains. Been here a couple years now. So breathe. Remember to stay connected to your creative side for whatever you get from it, or maybe more importantly, give to it. Thank you all. Have a good evening.